They say evil isn't born, it's made. But what if the monster was living right inside the house, smiling at breakfast and sharpening an axe before lunch? If you think you're brave enough to face one of America's darkest true horrors, hit that subscribe button, because this is the story of Lizzie Borden, the woman who may have killed her parents and unleashed a curse that still haunts her home. It was August 1892 in the quiet town of Fall River, Massachusetts. The air was heavy with the scent of summer heat and something else, something foul, hidden beneath the silence. At 92 2nd Street stood a two-story wooden house with green shutters and a calm appearance. But behind those windows lived a family torn apart by greed, resentment, and whispers of madness. Inside were Andrew Borden, a strict, wealthy banker, Abby Borden, his second wife, and Lizzie and Emma, Andrew's daughters from his first marriage. Andrew was known for his coldness. He refused to buy modern comforts like electricity or plumbing, though he could easily afford them. The house was a prison of old ways, and Lizzie, the younger daughter, felt trapped, suffocated. But soon that quiet house would echo with screams, and blood would drip from its walls. The days before the murders were strange. Lizzie complained that someone was trying to poison the family. The milk tasted bitter. The maid, Bridget Sullivan, said she felt sick too. Andrew dismissed it all. He didn't believe in fear. But neighbors later recalled Lizzie had been buying poison from the pharmacy, claiming it was for cleaning her sealskin cape. That night, she didn't sleep. From her room, she watched shadows move across the hall. The grandfather clock ticked louder than ever, and when she closed her eyes, she dreamed of blood. It began as a normal summer morning. Abby cleaned the guest room where Lizzie's uncle had stayed. Andrew left for his usual business walk. At 9:30 a.m., the maid Bridget was outside cleaning windows. Inside, the house fell silent. Lizzie claimed she was in the barn looking for metal to fix a hinge. But what she really found was rage. Minutes later, screams tore through the stillness. Abby Borden was found upstairs, her skull split open by 19 blows of an axe. Her face was unrecognizable. Blood soaked the bedspread, walls, and floor. When Andrew returned home at 10:45 a.m., Lizzie greeted him calmly. He lay down on the couch to rest. 10 minutes later, he too was hacked to death 11 times. His face cleaved in two. Lizzie's white dress was untouched by blood. Or maybe, as some say, she burned it later, claiming it was stained with paint. By noon, the entire town gathered outside the Borden home. Reporters, police, and horrified neighbors surrounded the house that smelled of iron and death. Lizzie stood calmly on the porch. She didn't cry. When questioned, her answers kept changing. She said she heard a groan, then said she didn't. She said she saw her father's body, then said she didn't. The police searched her room, but not thoroughly. Because in 1892, a proper lady couldn't be guilty of such savagery, could she? Still, rumors began to spread, the kind that crawl under your skin and whisper while you sleep. When Lizzie was finally arrested, newspapers exploded. Did a young churchwoman butcher her family with an axe? In court, she wore black lace and looked composed, almost proud. The axe, found in the basement, was shown as evidence. Its handle had been snapped off. The defense said there was no proof, no blood on her dress, no eyewitness, no motive. But the prosecutor read her letter to a friend, where she wrote, "Something terrible is coming. I can feel it in the house." The courtroom fell silent. Even then, the jury, all men, couldn't believe a woman could commit such horror. After 90 minutes, Lizzie Borden was acquitted. But as she smiled in victory, someone from the crowd shouted, "She got away with murder!" After her release, Lizzie bought a new mansion called Maplecroft. She lived there alone for the rest of her life. Servants claimed they saw her standing in the dark hallway, staring at the reflection of an axe in the mirror. Visitors spoke of footsteps in the attic, voices murmuring her name, and a woman's laughter echoing through the night. Lizzie started hosting lavish parties, but the guests said they felt watched, as if unseen eyes followed their every move. And sometimes she spoke to no one, whispering, "Abby, stop bleeding. Father, please stop looking at me." Even after Lizzie died in 1927, locals swore the house on 2nd Street was cursed. The new owners heard footsteps at night, heavy, dragging, like boots soaked in blood. Doors opened and slammed without reason. One woman claimed to see a shadow holding an axe, standing at the foot of her bed. When she turned on the light, there was nothing there, except a single wet footprint. The Borden House was later turned into a museum. Visitors who spend the night report cold hands touching their faces and mirrors that fog up with words. 40 whacks, a twisted nursery rhyme, became famous after the murders, whispered by children playing on the streets. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. The rhyme wasn't true, but it made Lizzie immortal. She became both legend and ghost. Teachers banned the poem in schools, but kids still sang it when the lights went out. Was Lizzie truly guilty? Some historians believe she was protecting someone else, maybe her sister Emma. Others think she lost her mind from years of abuse and religious pressure. And a few darker voices whisper that the Borden family was cursed, that something ancient lived inside that house long before Lizzie was born. An evil that wanted blood and found it. Today, the Lizzie Borden House still stands in Fall River. Tourists stay overnight for ghost tours, but many don't make it till morning. EVP recorders capture screams, whispers, and the sound of a blade striking wood. Some guests wake up covered in scratches. Others claim to see a woman in a Victorian dress walking through walls, holding something heavy in her hands. When asked what they saw, they always say the same thing. Her face was calm, but her eyes were full of blood. Soft fade-out sound. Slow heartbeat echoing. Narrator, if you ever visit Fall River, look for the house on 2nd Street, the one with the green shutters. But if you hear footsteps behind you, don't turn around. Lizzie never liked to be watched.